Hey guys, welcome back to the tribe.
Welcome back, everyone.
Thank you so much for subscribing to our channel. We truly appreciate it.
Yes, we do.
And before we get started, we're actually going to start with the affirmation of the day.
Yes, we are. The affirmation of the day is I love myself deeply.
I love myself deeply.
We say that throughout the day to reprogram the subconscious mind. Let's go.
Okay, so the topic of the day is the cost of living, US and in Egypt, comparing the prices and seeing the difference between the two.
Agree. And also, I think we could probably touch on some other places because we've been a bunch of different places. But right now, we are currently in Egypt. So we're going to talk about Egypt. Let's do it.
Yes. That's right.
Okay, cool. Yeah. I'm a big finance guy, so I'm really definitely into like money and inflation and what's happening in the economy, crypto stuff like that. So, like I observe what's happening as far as money goes in the United States and these other places because obviously we've been to other places. Here we are. Your money goes a long way, just not where you're at. Like where you're at, like you can barely afford groceries, we can barely afford rent and things like that, the basic necessities. So it's like when you go out the country, you can tell that your dollar stretches way further than it does when you're at home, which is unfortunate because if you can't make money besides being stationary in your country, you're not going to be really able to take advantage of that unless you're like taking a vacation, but that's not sustainable, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Totally agree. Very similar. I mean, it's a different lifestyle. It's a different feeling being in different places and just being able to have that wusa, not having the pressure or the stress of having to pay for so many different things and your money not necessarily being the best that it can be for you. So unfortunately, it's a lot of limits, especially with the economy today in the US. There's things that you can do and you could prioritize the budget, but then there are other things that you may not necessarily have, the money to do so, which you have to get other sources of income and other streams and, or cut back. So, being able to come out here and currently being in Luxor, but just being able to travel and seeing the value of the dollar and how it stretches and goes a long way, it allows, at least for myself, it humbles me a lot and it allows me to really think outside of this 2 week, a month, 3 month vacation if I want to be here full time. So,
Yeah, for real. Like, and noticing the reverse effect of it. This is the reverse effect of it. It's like when you're in America, you can't afford things because of inflation, but the locals here are going through the same thing. So the locals here are going through inflation as well. So they can barely afford what the only reason why we benefit from it is because the dollar for right now is stronger than the Egyptian pound. So when you're out here with US dollars or you convert your US dollars to Egyptian pounds, you have a lot of money to them, right? So but if you can really see it and really put the pieces to the puzzle together, you see that America is turning into these types of countries. And the point is that you only feel more powerful with your dollar when you leave the country. So if you're at home, you're kind of going through the same things, not in the slightest the same, like because the Egyptians they're struggling a lot, but it's the same type of concept that inflation is affecting Americans the same way that it's affecting everyone else. It's just that you have a better, your dollar stretches more when you leave the country.
yeah, I also think too it's a quality of life. So depending on where you go, like being here, we've seen a lot of people being happy and rejoiced and just being in a blissful state. Still understanding, obviously, life happens, things are unfortunately going to be out of your control, but it's how you handle those things and how you take it day by day. And, the beauty of seeing the humbleness and just going outside and being able to see the Nile or taking a walk and just these little things that probably I would have overlooked, being back in the States. I probably wouldn't have paid attention to the pond as much or going to a park or going to a zoo or just really embracing nature's beautiful planet,
Right.
due to the fact of I have to work, I have to get this, I have to get that, and just being constantly under this pressure and this hamster wheel of trying to survive. So seeing the benefit and seeing how your dollar can really help you and allow you to grow, it's a beautiful thing, and I'm really happy that we get the opportunity to make decisions for ourselves that maybe our generation or our families weren't able to do. So to be here present right now and just really explore and look at different places. And we've done this before. We'll go to different countries and we'll ask and we'll solicit and we'll look into the real estate and stuff like that just to get an idea and compare comps as well as looking at the whole environment as a whole and the zoning systems and stuff like that. So then that way we just get an idea of how to live full time versus being here on a temporary
Vacation, right?
exactly
Yeah.
couple weeks or something like that. Yeah.
I agree.
Segue. Okay, so the word of the day is felicity.
Felicity.
Felicity means happiness and joy.
Happiness and joy.
Yes. And to put it in a sentence, the couples showed felicity with their smiles and their laughter. Yeah. Okay, so to get back into the topic, to be in a place now where we are comparing it to the 90s, seeing how gold, silver, stocks, all of these different assets have risen and have been put in a position and helped people who obviously invested during that time of where they're probably not necessarily feeling as much of it, depending obviously on their decision making. Because of where we are today, especially with inflation and with the economy, when it comes back to the dollar, our dollar, and seeing how we can really be able to place it in different places when we travel around the world and see how it stretches and it allows us to be where we are.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, when you realize, well, one, I definitely want to touch on how much you get with the money, but just before that, all assets are being measured in dollars, right? They're being measured in dollars, and we know that dollars are worthless. So obviously, the assets that retain their value, they're gonna, since they're measured in dollars, it's gonna cost more of the dollars to get that. Because it's not the asset that's changing, it's the dollar's value that's changing.
Right.
So it's not about corporations and things like that. It's more so, all right, they're measuring assets in dollars, right? So now that the assets are staying powerful and the dollar's being printed into oblivion, you just got to pay more, right? So eggs are always eggs, cars are cars, but the dollar's so crazy that you have to spend so much more of those dollars. So that's just a crash course in inflation, and you see that like here, like when we like order food, which is very interesting. Like when we were in Cairo, we were ordering like we would get 2 meals, big plates, and like
Huge.
I'm telling you, it's coming down to like $3-4.
Yeah.
Like literally $3 or $4, and we're like, I'm like, babe, that's how much it is. She's like, how much? Like $10. I'm like, no, like $3. She's like, that like you
It was, yeah. I mean, and that's the beauty of, again, just being able to experience and go to other places, other countries, explore other cultures, seeing how we can get more for our dollar and really the value. I think that's what's most important about all of this is what value are you trading for that dollar? And for us, especially even considering living out of the country, out of our homeland, and seeing the value of how we can survive and how we can be happy. And that's really what it's about. Happiness and joy, felicity. Like, it's about us having this feeling of being free and I can do whatever I want and I'm not controlled and I'm not thinking about the next steps. I'm not constantly in this stressful bubble.
And like this puppet on the string.
Yeah. At any moment the shoe can drop. So, to be here and to experience and again to see the value, like beyond money, beyond the assets, beyond, all titles and status and all these different things. It really is the value. And for me, value goes a long way. You can easily get quantity. You can easily get a whole bunch of, but you have all of these different things and it's not working for you. Or you have all of these different things and you're not happy. Or you have all of these different things at your disposal, but you can't do nothing because you're constantly under, like a loop. So it's being here, it has allowed me to see, and I've lived in Paris, so I was able to compare the euros and the dollars with the United States. Obviously, China's way cheaper than Paris. China and Egypt are about the same.
Wow.
Yeah, literally. Yeah, they're literally about the same in terms of like the value. I went back in 2019. You can get stuff out there for like $5, $6. I mean, no different. And because of the location and where you are, it's the value. You go to these places, these people, they really handcrafted. Like they really think about how they create and how they cook and how they what their intent is behind their spirit into it versus being in the States. I can go to a 5-star restaurant and get shitty service. The plates are super small. The food is not even seasoned well. It has a bland taste. And the value, aesthetically it looks pleasing, but then what did I just put in my body?
Right.
And then when I go home, I gotta like literally get it out of my body. So little things like that, and just hearing prices, I'm like, wow, like you can pay how much to for a 1 bedroom versus in Miami versus New York versus California versus all of these different places. And mind you, they're competing with each other. There was a point in time where Miami wasn't as high. Miami, as hypothetical, California, I'd probably say 25. New York about 3,000 to 3,500, and then at the time Miami was about 1,900. Nowadays Miami's 2,000 to 2,500. New York, 400, New York, forget about it. It's 34 to 4,000. Okay,
New York City, especially.
It's super like, and then California, it varies, but it's like it's crazy. It varies, but it's definitely in that 2,000 to 3,000 range. So it's like, okay, let me do the math real quick. Okay, so like I invest into this property, or I rent into this property. I'm not even investing as a buyer. I'm renting into this property, and I'm spending 2,000 to 3,000 a month that I'm not seeing a return on because again I don't own it. So I'm flushing this money down. Then on top of that, I have to work 5 days a week. I can't necessarily work hybrid or I can't work remote because they require me to be an in-person, position. Then 5 days, I'm already burnt because I've been going back and forth to work. I'm tired. I don't feel like doing anything. I got the weekend. That's 2 days. 2 days of pure bliss and serenity and peace, and then I'm back at it again. But really, it's one day because once Friday hits, you have Friday into Saturday, Sunday, you're prepping. You're prepping for the week. So you really don't have any time to really have that wusa peaceful moment. And, we have become so programmed and so conditioned with being in a place and being in a world where it is okay to not ask any questions. It is okay to be told this is what it is and then go and do exactly what it is and not have any type of rebuttal to it. So again, to be able to experience this and to see the value, it's really the value. I'm like, I can't beat this.
I mean, I 100% agree. I think that again, like Tony said, that we're in line. Everything's in line. Stay in line, stay in line, don't go outside the lines. And when you go outside the lines, you have what we would call Agent Smiths, protecting the matrix unknowingly, subconsciously protecting the matrix, asking you why are you doing what you're doing, why are you making the moves that you're making.
Mm-hmm.
And what we call sanity is really insane, and what we call insane really has the most semblance of sanity, right? So from my perspective, the real crux of all of this is that you have to be stationary
Right.
to make the money that you make for the most part. Most people haven't cracked the code to discover that there's ways to make money outside of the 9 to 5.
Right.
Becoming your own business,
Right.
becoming your own brand. Like we're building our own brand, we're building our own business together and separate entities.
Right.
So there's a way. Like, do you got internet? Like we just bought internet for the spot. Like you got internet, you can make money. Like
Right.
you can get it in. Like you can go online, you can build a presence online.
Right.
You can lean on your talents. Most people are afraid to lean on their talents because of the in the meantime, in between time, they feel like they're not making enough money. So they'd rather lean on the security of a job, which makes sense.
Right.
But even when I worked a job, I made sure that I set aside time for my dreams, for my goals.
Right.
So now when I look back, oh, I wrote 2 books. Oh, I have houses. So I have things to offer that now that I don't have that I'm not working. I'm not going to say I don't have a job because I'm not working a job. I am my own boss. So now I can go live and I can promote my book and I can go live and I have things to offer the people that I'm serving. So I don't have to work a job for another company that doesn't care about me, that can fire me at any time, right? And put me right back at square one.
Right.
Now, if you're at square one, what you need to be doing is building something so that you can never be at square one again.
Right.
You can always lean back on what you've done.
Right.
Right? Like Zoe's a dope everything, digital. Like I said, that you guys are watching, like she chops it up. Like she's always gonna have something that she can offer people. Right? It's not always about a 9 to 5. If you have something to offer, whether it be wisdom, whether it be your art, whether it be whatever it is, you can turn that into a business because there's always somebody on the opposite end that needs your gift. So
Right.
you just gotta lean into it.
Lean into it, and again, like, don't be so focused on the money. I think that's people's biggest problem is I have to do this to make money. I have to do it. Like, you become a machine and you become a robot and you miss out on the journey of it. Like, for me, I'm really happy that I've taken time to really say, you know what, I appreciate this. I appreciate putting in more prep work. I appreciate taking the time to actually seeing how this is and really getting it to my taste and to my style and the way that I like the details. So to be able to say, hey, beyond money, it's what am I leaving behind? It's what am I going to be happy with? Because you could do anything for money. I mean, we see examples all the time of people doing anything for money. But it's like, do you feel happy and are you a good person doing it? Do you feel like you're a good person doing it? Do you feel like it is something that is bringing you a certain type of happiness
you
or
do yourself
joy?
a disservice by
Right.
doing what you did.
Right.
Or your soul a disservice by doing what you did.
Exactly.
Right.
So, so again, being able to compare the comps and seeing the differences, being here in Egypt currently and United States and seeing the differences and looking at the plus and the cons and saying, you know what? Yeah, this may not have this, but it has this. May not have this, but it has this. So for me, and this is why, Steve and I, we have conversations all the time. And, for me, I'm like, I personally, I don't need a lot. And I don't really want a lot. I just want to be in a place where I feel comfortable. I'm happy. I have a view. There's water. There's heat. There's light. There's electricity. There's basic necessities that where I can survive and I can feel comfortable and I can learn the lay of the land and kind of be good. I don't need a fancy car or need to be in a sky rise again or have this penthouse and, I don't need any of that. I experienced that and I wasn't happy. I was working, I was very, very tired, and I was irritable all the time. Like, all the time. And for me, I realized that you can have, again, all of these things, but what's the value in it? What's the true value in it?
100%. Absolutely beautifully put. And yeah, man, I agree. And I don't want to make this too long, but man, I think this is something that everybody needs to think about.
Yeah.
Everybody needs to ponder this because we made these decisions but we made them without fear. Like,
Yeah.
obviously you have moments where you're like, but for the most part, like, there was no fear in my body with doing this. First of all, we did it in 2023. We
Right.
traveled the world already, so we already know what it feels like to travel the world, and we did it for 6 months straight.
Right.
So you know what it feels like. The only thing that's probably stopping you is the belief in yourself and setting up something within your reality that you can make money off of. Like,
Right.
we have to be able to stop just making TikTok about this. Like, you got to be able to get outside of working for someone else
Mhm.
in order to make money. Like,
Mhm.
there's a way. You got to find it. You got to, it's not like some airy fairy concept. You can
Right.
do it for sure.
And just be uncomfortable. You have to be uncomfortable to be comfortable. And I learned that the hard way. I've experienced that. You've experienced that. You have to be uncomfortable to be comfortable. And once you understand that concept and you understand that reality,
Yeah, I'm never doing this again. Reality.
right, you fight so hard to not do that. So like for me, that's why I'm like, I feel very comfortable moving. I didn't even think twice when it came into fruition and when it was exposed. Hey, listen, we can actually live outside of the country, and here are examples of how we can do so. Okay, perfect. Sign me up. How can I do it? How can I create this reality for myself that I've been trying to do for so long? And now having the opportunity to do so and looking at the paperwork and just going through the steps and really making it a reality, that's what's most important.
Right.
And again, being able to plan things out, accurately look at everything, budget, figure out your finances, whatever, but have that dying desire to want to be wherever it is that you want to be. And that's truly what's going to help you along your journey. We don't have any kids, so for us it was very easy. We don't have a car note anymore. We don't have the apartment that we're attached to. We really don't have anything that we are attached to in the United States. So for us to make this decision and to carefully make this decision, like we carefully made this decision, and then we took the necessary steps to be where we are right now.
Right.
So I would also say carefully look, carefully take the time to say, okay, let me plan this out, let me draw this out, let me see how it is. How am I gonna make money? How is the neighborhood of the area that I'm going to? Is it city? Is it lively? Is it something that I can produce? Is it something potentially where my kids or children can be raised? Is it something that I feel as though that no matter where I go, I'm going to feel safe? So ask these questions to yourself. So then that way, when you have that opportunity and you have that moment, you know exactly how to execute. Okay,
Right.
so the Arabic phrase of the day is Habibi.
Habibi.
Habibi means my love.
My love.
Habibi.
Habibi.
You often hear Habibi, come to Dubai, or Habibi, come to Egypt. So that's a really cool one.
Habibi.
Okay, so our final thoughts. My final thoughts. If this is something that you want to do, and if this is something that resonates with you, definitely reach out to us or just do thorough research before you come and randomly just pop up somewhere. Make sure that you take the time to actually study, to understand, to visit the land first, and then make that decision. So then that way you're not feeling rushed, or you're feeling so much anxiety, or you don't have people or family around you, and all of that good stuff. Also too, Steve and I, we don't have children, so it was very easy for us to make the decision on leaving the United States, at least for a while, and to be on the road. Because of that, that has allowed us to be in the position where we are. We also work for ourselves. Because we work for ourselves, it's a lot easier for us to be able to maneuver easily. We did thorough research prior to coming here. We did like months of research, and we finally, prior to coming here, when we came out here 2 years ago, we were actually looking and we were vetting different areas. So for us to be here now and to see the development and to see the progress that has been made, this naturally is allowing us to be able to continue to move forward with what it is that we set out 2 years ago. So
Yes, 100%. I agree. I think again, if it's something, if you're comfortable where you're at, be where you're at. If it's something that you like, wherever you're at is where you're at. But at the end of the day, if that's not where you're comfortable being, the situation you're in, the reality you're in, and you want to extend yourself, you want to expand beyond what you're doing, then do that. Like Zoe said, do your research, ask questions. There's never enough questions that you can ask, and take the leap of faith, because at the end of the day, this life isn't set in stone. Nothing. You're not just supposed to just stay in line. And the way that we've been living life has been completely opposite of nature, right? So, like I said, we spend hours away from our family and friends, these jobs, these corporate jobs, or whatever job we have. Um, Free yourself in any way that you feel called to, because if your soul has been yearning, then it really wants to do it. So, do the research, look forward to it, and do your thing.
yeah, and definitely do a comparison from the United States and compare it to different countries and different places. Again, the United States is beautiful, it is the land of the free. However, your dollar can stretch and go so far when you're in other places and you experience other things. It will allow you to really think about consciously and make certain decisions for yourself and for your family. Does this make sense? Is this something that's going to work for me long term? And is this something that's going to make me happy? And because of that decision, we were able to be obviously where we are right now. So thank you guys so much for subscribing to our channel. We truly appreciate it. Any comments, anything that you have, definitely comment down below. We always enjoy reading different comments and also just responding back to people. We are picking ourselves back up in terms of our content, and now that we are a lot more stationed and a lot more settled, we feel comfortable and confident with recording going forward. So
Yes, indeed. We appreciate you guys. Follow us on every social media channel that we display at the bottom, and we look forward to entertaining you guys some more.
thank you guys, and until next time, stay tuned.